Welcome. We are going to dive right in and start talking about how to get yourself into the CEO mindset that you need to
Yep.
secure some vacations and time off for yourself as a busy
Yep.
doula. And
And why are we doing this? Why are we spending time even talking about this? Why can't we just say we're going on vacation and have it be that?
well, because I think you and I are a little obsessed with this, or at least I'll speak for myself. I'm
Yeah.
obsessed
No.
with this. Like
Yeah.
if I'm just going to cut right to the point. If we're going to take the risks of being an entrepreneur and running our own doula business, like the whole reason I did that was so I wasn't tied to my corporate boss telling me I had to sit in my cubicle till 5 p.m., even if I was done with my work for the day, and that, I got 1 week of vacation time a year and 3 sick days, like blah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And doula work is so hard and it's draining and it's taxing on your body and your energy and your mind and your emotions. And you need a break. You need like a designated break, something that you are intentionally planning for yourself to break that up and to just, for lack of a better word, just refill your cup to regenerate, refresh.
And
It's not,
also walk your walk. Like we're constantly telling
yes,
our clients to do the
yes.
same, take good care of themselves and work self-care into their day, into their month,
And we
into their
don't.
year. No.
No.
And so you're going to show up as a better doula, better birth worker.
Mhm.
Do that.
Yep. Yep.
And also, so we're business owners, we have the freedom to carve out time for ourselves, whether it's a day, 1 day a month, whether it's a week-long vacation, but we can do that and we should do that. And
We should put it in our contract.
to put in our contracts and we should write it off.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh, yes. That's the other thing. There's so many benefits to all parts of this, and it's financial, it's mental and emotional, it's physical, and it makes you a better business owner, which makes you a better doula, which makes you a better friend and partner and parent. And it's like how we tell clients, my priority is you, because if you're happy and healthy, everybody in the household feels it. If
Yes.
you're unraveling, everybody starts to unravel along with you. So, as the point person in probably all aspects of your life, because I think just as women, as
Yeah.
moms, as just parents, we're like the pinnacle of all the things. So, we got to be on our A game.
And one thing I'm really leaning into, and I really have for the past couple of years, is that the idea that it's it took me a while to get here too with being a mom. Like I'm a better mom when I take time for myself, when I
Yep.
have breaks. I'm a better, my business runs better
Yep.
when I treat myself really well. Like treating yourself like crap is a pretty bad business strategy. You're going
And
to
if you
run.
think about if it was any other business other than your own and if you got treated like crap, you'd be done. Like, and we talk about how many doulas say, oh, I haven't really paid myself yet. Like, what? I'm sorry. If you worked for anyone else and you showed up every day and gave it your all and didn't get paid, you would be doing it for, I don't know, 3 minutes. And then you'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm
I'm
done
out of
with it.
here. Right.
How can you not even financially treat yourself? You are the CEO, the CFO, the MVP, the VIP.
We promised to talk about what is and working this, writing this into our contract. So,
Yep.
Jodi, take it away because you are the contract
Yes.
queen. And
So,
oh, sorry. Let me just say one thing. I used to think, oh, Dula, I don't want a contract. That's so legally and gross and blah. I came to love my contract because it makes it easier to have your boundaries with your clients around everything, payment, that you won't wash windows, that you won't do lawn work, all the things.
nothing's worse when a client's like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Then you're like, what do I say to that? Oh,
Right.
just this once. Because confrontation's hard for a lot of people, me included. I hate it.
Yeah.
And if it's all written down in black and white in your contract, and if you talked about it in your interview and possibly made a short little video in your welcome letter, which we'll talk about, there's no, oh, I didn't realize that was not part of the fee or whatever, because it's there. It's There's no expectations are clearly stated and everybody knows them. But yeah, contracts are great. Every deposits are great. Boundaries are great. All the things that were like, it's too rigid. As the years go on, I have become more rigid in my business, but it only brings more respect. It only brings more clients. It only brings more people talking about the pleasure it was to do business with me because there's no like ifs, ands, or buts. Like it's clearly stated. Everybody knows their part and their role, what they're doing, what they're not doing. And it's simple. It like brings simplicity to this all. And
Yeah.
I like simple.
Yes. So how do you suggest
Yep.
we write this into our contracts? And
Yep. So, like anything else, there is a portion of your contract, whether it's a paragraph or a part or whatever you're calling it, that says time off, vacation, whatever you want to call it, whatever the words that you're using with your clients, that's what you're going to call it. And you're going to start off with the dates. You are going to start off with dates you have already put in your calendar for the time that you have off. And if it doesn't fall into the time frame of this client, that's fine. If it falls into the time frame of this client, obviously that's fine too. When you are fielding these inquiries, it's obviously something that you want to mention, but you are solidifying it in your contract. So the first things are the dates that you are going to be gone. And if you are on vacation from January 1st to the 15th, does that also mean December 31st that night you are not working? So be crystal clear on if it's night work, you are off that whole day. So don't say my vacation starts here and there, and then that person expects you the night before, and you're like, "Ooh, sorry, I put it in my contract, but you weren't clear." So crystal clear the date that you are no longer working with them until the date that you will start again. Because don't say you're coming home on the 5th. Maybe they expect you the night of the 5th. You're not coming home from vacation, showering, and then going off to a client's house. And if you want to, that's fine, but you never know with flights. You never know there could be delays. So don't start making these I'll be there promises when you don't have control over the travel situation.
yes, give
Um,
yourself a good buffer.
give yourself a buffer for sure. The next thing I want you to think about is there a backup? Is it time you are taking off that they will have no care, or are you promising them a fill in? If it's no backup, then it's no backup. If you're promising them a fill in, what does that look like? Will they get to meet that person ahead of time? Is it one person? Is it two people? Is it whoever you can find closer to the time? Is it, are they still paying you? Are they paying that person? All of those little details might seem like unnecessary as I'm saying them, but every detail that is part of that backup or fill in process, including the payments, including the time, the rate, all of the things. You want to make sure that you are putting that in there. And if you don't have a backup, if you don't want to worry about a backup, then that's what you're putting in there. If your client doesn't like it, they may not like it, but you can't promise something that you don't have. And if you don't want to be responsible for a backup, that is okay also. I think we're always like, we don't want to disappoint. We don't want to disappoint. Sometimes things don't aren't exactly what a client wants, but that is how you operate. And that's Darcy, I'm sure you've come into the situation where someone's, ooh, 50% up front. I wasn't really expecting that. That's part of my process. 50% up front and then 50% before I start. If you don't like that, if you're not comfortable with that, then different doulas do different things. But maybe I've been burned a couple of times and now that is how I structure my fees. You cannot please everyone. And there are times too where I'm bendy. If someone's, ooh, I really don't have that, I'm not going to not care for you because I know that each week you'll be able to pay. So maybe it's 20% or whatever. But in a situation where it's, are you providing a backup or are you not providing a backup? If you say no and that's disappointing to your client, they have a decision to make. Do they want to continue with you for those, 11 weeks and then worry about the week that you're not there? Maybe not. But don't promise a backup when you have no intention or you don't know how that's going to play out. Expectations. Set clear expectations so everybody knows what they're doing and what they're not doing. You can add a blurb, and I like this. You can add a blurb about why are you booking off this time for yourself. You don't have to say I'm going to Disney or you do whatever, but it's nice sometimes to give a client your perspective. Like, I am taking this time off because I invest 125% of myself when I care for you. I want to make sure that I'm able to recharge my batteries so I can continue to take the best care of you.
It all,
Doula,
I was just
yeah,
going to say, it also looks really great if it's in your contract. Hey, I'm out of town October 20th to 25th. I'm attending my international doula organization trade conference for
100%.
continuing education. Like they get it. And then also, I say I'm taking this week in July off for my parents' 50th anniversary. I'm making this up. 50th
Yeah.
anniversary family trip. Like it humanizes you as a doula, and they're like,
Yep.
oh, like she has a life,
Yep.
and we can't just book her 24/7, 7 days a week.
Remember when you were younger and you saw your teacher at like the grocery
Yes.
and you're just
Yes.
like you food shop? We do too. Like, I mean,
You
it's
eat?
yes. And as a doula, oh, you take care of your own family. And I always found that like in this industry, when you can't go to a client's house because like your kid is sick, they were like, oh my, yes, take care of
Yes.
your own family the way you take care of us. Don't worry about we're good tonight. We'll see you on Wednesday or whatever. They have a different depth of understanding, like that you have personal obligations because you are taking care of their personal obligations. So it's yes, it makes you human, but it also makes them realize that you're doing all the things on your end to be the best doula that you can be. And you're not just giving till you're like flat out toast. And then you're not that great at what you're doing anymore.
And you're modeling that for your clients.
Oh,
Here's
we
how
tell
you
them,
don't burn yourself out. You're a new
just like you
mom.
said, we walk the walk.
Yeah.
And we don't always. I remember like postpartum doulaing myself when I had
Yeah.
kids. Like, how dumb is that? Uh, and not resting when the baby was resting and not letting people wait on me. And it's like, why? You see how amazing it is for your clients, but you just don't give yourself that. You don't
I
give yourself.
remember canceling a dentist appointment for myself because I was double booked with clients and I was like, I don't have time. And then I was like, wait a minute. Like I would never tell one of my clients, like, oh, don't go to the dentist because you have a baby now. And this is
100%.
where that CEO mindset comes in
Yep.
of establishing yourself as a good model for these families that you're working with. And then that you alluded to this before, when you have those really good boundaries and those really strong convictions about what you are going to be doing, it elicits respect and
Yep.
trust and
Yep.
from your clients. And that's hard to get into our people pleaser brains sometimes, but it's really true.
100%. And we always say the mom or whoever is the top priority, but like realistically, we are our top priority. Like I am my top priority, my health and wellness and happiness and financial stability and all of those things. If I keep those in line and if those are all boxes checked off, then I can really be the best doula. I can take the best care of my clients. But if
Right.
my own stuff is all messy, I'm not showing up 100%. For sure, I'm not. And the last thing about what you're going to put in your contract is keep it updated. Okay. If you have something in your contract from 2024 that you went on vacation, great that you went on vacation, but you're not keeping your stuff up to date. And that is one thing I cannot stand is when I look at someone's website and they have something from 3 months ago that has already been and gone, or it's
Oh, yeah.
you didn't update your stuff and you're not on top of it. So I like to know that people are on top of their stuff. So you want to make sure you're taking off when things go by and you're always adding the new things. And if something is possibly happening, just put it in your contract. There is
Yeah.
a chance that I will be away, blah, blah, blah. If it falls through, you take it out. If it solidifies, you say, I will, instead of there's a chance I will. But just so it puts it in the client's mind, like maybe you will, maybe you won't, but I know that there's a possibility that you will be away for this, whatever. We just had a client, and this is interesting because I never really thought of this part of it, but the doula that they're working with is going to be away for the last, I think it's the last week of their contract. So they said, instead of having someone just come in for the last week, can we have them come in for the last two just so we get to know them a bit before? And I'm like, oh, sure. So the doula is going away for the last week and we have a fill in for that, but we're actually having her fill in for the last two. So she is not just like in and out with the family. There's time that she gets to know them before it's the end. It's client preference for that one, but you definitely want to make sure that even if a vacation or time off is you're planting the seed and it's starting to sprout and you're
Yeah.
unsure, put it in there. Put it in there as a possibility.
And so this all
No
means,
pop-ups, no surprises.
right, that you have to be very intentional with your time and actually plan this 9 months ahead. Like I can't declare, oh, I'm going to take a 2 week vacation in July because I have 5 contracts
It
already
is.
for
Yes.
July. So you have to, right now, you could plan for January, February, March, like
Yep.
next year. So do it. So do it now. Figure out what conferences you want to attend, what vacations you want to take, what things you need to do.
We're currently planning to be off. When in January are we hitting the road and heading to Florida?
January 20th to 22nd, we're going to be in Clearwater, Florida. And this is actually what prompted this. Jen Tawil, who's not here, but she wanted to come. She was like, I put the birth worker retreat. She's like, it's just in my contract that this week
Yeah.
in January, I'm attending this continuing education, working on my business.
And
And
all the people who were attending were, that's so smart. We
yeah,
never, and it's like light bulb goes off, and everyone is now putting it in their contract because we do get booked 10 months in advance. Like we do get booked so far in advance. So it's like, you don't want to spring this on the client that is like due January 15th that you signed 2 months ago, because that's not fair. So we need to pre plan, make sure we have those things on our calendar for our vacations, put in our contract so we don't have to worry about backpedaling, being like, oh, I know I committed to you, but like this thing just popped up and I really want to go. That's not cool. Clients could be okay with it and it's fine. And you could secure a backup for those 3 days. And if you're a birth doula or whatever, but we like to plan ahead, especially in our industry where people know 10 months in advance that they are giving birth around a certain time.
yeah. And I think this is another freedom we have as doulas and birth workers. I have a yoga retreat I love to go on every September, and it's in my contract. The birth worker retreat in January. Now I host these main retreats. Like I have something like every other month that on my calendar at this point in my life, my kids are older. So I'm like I am making sure a year in advance that I am building in these fun experiences that all somehow tie into my business and I
Yep.
can write off,
You
which is
have it in your contract, but you also know ahead of time when to potentially say no to a client. Like,
exactly. So when
or
I know
it's twofold.
right. And maybe yours is that you don't have childcare for the summer when your kids are out of school and you don't
Yep.
want to take clients then. You've got to plan that out in advance and structure your time and your contract accordingly. And maybe I don't know, that you ski and you don't want to take clients in the winter, or there's a million reasons. And
That's you. That's not me.
I know, I'm just thinking of
That's
all the
Darcy.
things I've heard doulas say that if they're in-laws live in New Zealand. So every year they go to New Zealand for a month. You've got to plan that, put that in your contract, talk about it in advance, and figure out the money. Can you earn enough in the rest of your year to take that month off?
That's a whole other
That's
work.
a whole other webinar.
And we can host that workshop for
We
you.
can actually. That's a great idea.
That is a great idea.
So what I think when you're writing these vacations, trips, conferences into your contract, it really helps you communicate about that confidently because
Yeah.
here it is in writing. You sign here, it's all laid out. You don't, and I don't know, everything that's in my contract, it makes it so much easier because Jodi said we hate conflict.
Yeah.
When it's
But
in
the
your,
confidence, just like you said, that you have to be confident about the presentation of it. Because if you're wishy-washy, it makes the other person a little wishy-washy. She's not confident with this, like I'm not confident in her. So that's huge, is the confidence piece
it's
when you're
huge because at the end of the day, they're hiring you to come to their birth. They're hiring you to come into their home when their baby's 2 days old. That's what they want the most, is someone who's confident because they're scared out of their minds. They're hiring you so that there's a confident, calm adult in the room. So I feel like your contract is like a vehicle to demonstrate that and confidently stating, yes, I have this week in January and this week in March that I am unavailable. Here's the backup situation, whatever. And it is what it is. And when you present things like that in that confident way, people are like, oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I think about this all the time because I read somewhere once that millennials have been raised and trained to ask for a discount just to see if one's possible. So when I first started out as a doula 15 years ago, if people were like, "Oh, is there any way we could get a little discount? We just switched jobs," and I'd be like, "Oh my God, they can't afford it. Let me see what I can do."
Yeah.
And
Let me
I'd
see what I
show
can do.
up to, they have three Upper Baby strollers and, a Rolls Royce in the driveway or something. And so I started when people would ask if there was a discount or a coupon code, I'd just say, nope, the rate is the rate. And they'd always go, oh, okay, sure. So
Yep.
I'll write you that deposit now. Just declare your rate, declare the time off that you need confidently, and people will respect that and listen to you. And again, that's good boundaries you're modeling for your clients. I think it's just like this whole like energetic. If you're the doula walking in saying, okay, I need a week in January off to attend the birth worker retreat because I'm going to learn all this stuff about continuing my doula career. You're like subconsciously modeling to the client, okay, this is how, I'm about to have a baby and this is how you ask for what you need, simply, directly, confidently. So it's like this whole cycle that we really have. It's another way we can help our clients by talking about what we need in a professional and confident way. And Jodi was saying, like, not being wishy-washy. When you're wishy-washy, they're going to say, actually, could you not leave till January 24th because
They sense
yes,
that there's an air of
there's
flexibility.
wiggle room.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. All right. So, did we catch everything with writing it into your contract,
Yep.
communicating
Communicating it.
confidence? So, the other thing is I like to, as I'm like putting things like this into my calendar and my contract, I also set my email out of office responder like months in advance. Okay, for this conference, I'll be out of office. So anyone who does a new client that contacts you knows you're out of town, you're not checking your email every 5 minutes, and you'll get back to them in 48 hours or whatever. You
You
know,
have someone else in place of you that, this person will be responding.
right.
So even though they're reaching out to you, they can expect that
Calling United Healthcare, this is
and
Rachel, a provider service.
And
respond.
then the other thing that is, again, modeling professionalism to your clients and potential clients. So,
Yeah. You want your business to run. Oh, wait. Hold on. You're muted.
I muted, sorry. Yeah, your business needs to run smoothly while you're gone. So, you want your business to thrive while you're gone the
What
way,
happens is, oh, go
what?
ahead. I was going to say what happens is when you don't plan ahead for that and you say, if I'm on vacation, I'm just going to check a little email, going to do this. Things get lost. You check an email like on the chairlift while you're skiing and then you forget to respond, or you say, I'm going to send the contract, but then when you get back to the ski lodge or whatever, you're on vacay, so you don't send it. And don't do that. Don't expect to be like in it while you're away because you'll be like a quarter in it and then you'll make 3/4 the mistakes.
Yeah. And that is why I like to, and I have built various like passive various income streams into my doula business so that I have more freedom.
Yep.
There's more ways for me to earn income than just one-on-one doula work. And that is a huge first step to making sure you want my business now, I can run it from anywhere. The ski lift is, I was going to say, are you reading my mind? That did happen. Like I on a ski lift responding to
If you
somebody.
can do it, if you can do it, do it. But I
Yeah,
think the easiest way is, let's say I'm going out of town, whatever, and Darcy's my go-to person. She's
yeah,
not out of town. I'm just going to forward all the emails to her. So it's
right.
like I'm still getting the time sensitive things taken care of, but I'm not doing it. So obviously you want to have a reliable person on the other end of that, and you know that as soon as that email gets to them, they're going to say, okay, this person just had a baby yesterday, is looking for overnight care. I'm not going to coordinate it. I'm not going to do it. Darcy is home at the
Yeah,
desk where she said she was going to be, and she's coordinating care for that person, or she's going to their house or whatever. So I don't have to worry about clients being upset or clients being not taken care of, but I'm not the one doing the usual coordinating because that's time consuming and I'm away. So the least I can do is forward that email. That is what I signed up for. That is my part, being away, but still being in the business, and someone else can do all of the other work. The other thing is just setting up really good workflows and automations. And when someone needs something, you hit the go button and they get the contract, they get the deposit invoice, they get the intake form. And those are things that you can easily set up because you do have to go in and change the amount. You do have to go in and whatever, do a little editing sometimes. If I know there's a possibility that someone's going to give the go ahead when I'm away, I will set up all of those things. So I hit boop and they get all the things. They pay the invoice, deposit, blah, 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 blah. They're not waiting for it. I don't have to get on the computer and do it. Even though if you've ever been to a retreat with me or a summit or anything, I will always say, I just have a little bit of work to do. Because I do. I always have a little bit of work to do. I always have my computer. I always have my phone. I like to keep my finger on the pulse of the business, but nothing that I have to like sit in my room and make everyone leave and get down to business. The only thing that I do, and Darcy, you do this too, if we're away at a summit or a retreat or something, we may throw a podcast episode in there. So like the recording, I do need some silence for that, but that's fun. Anything else, it's already taken care of or someone else is taking care of it.
Yeah.
Enjoy your vacation. Do not take vacations only to work during them. But on the other hand, be very thankful that you can be sitting on the beach and sending a contract or collecting an invoice.
Yeah.
Like it's twofold. It's twofold.
Yeah. And I think this is another whole webinar where we could talk about setting up passive income streams. You could teach a whole webinar on the automation side. I feel like that's a real strength for you in terms of how when someone comes into your agency, you have a whole email automation that they go through.
I'm not trying to work hard. I'm trying to work smart. Like I am not trying to work hard. And I think also write this down. I'll write this down. A webinar on just how to get your finances straight. So when you do go to the birth worker retreat in January, you're not missing a week of income. You already have that accounted for. Maybe it's saved wherever it is that will get deposited into your account during the week, like you were working, like you've always been there. It's a whole conversation. You should have a savings bucket anyway. You should have an emergency fund. We can talk about all of those things, but you don't want to be at the birth worker retreat stressing about the money that you're not making the week that you're gone.
Yeah. It's another.
I can stay a week, couple of days before, a couple of days after, make it memorable.
Yeah. I was there for 10 days last year. Highly recommend. It was awesome.
Yeah.
That's another just bonus for planning these trips ahead of time to get ahead of when people are going to get pregnant and book you, but also to get ahead of your money. Make sure you have the savings in place. Make sure you have, maybe you take more clients in May so that you can take January off. Whatever you need to do to make it financially smooth so you're not stressed out.
Take $100 for the 10 months that you're waiting to go to the retreat, and boom, you have $1,000 for yourself that week.
Boom. Yes. Okay. So I just put the link. If anybody does want to come to the birth worker retreat, it's going to be amazing. It's in Clearwater, Florida, January 20 to 22nd, but come early, stay later.
For business, it's for personal growth. It is for the all-encompassing business that you own. The financials, the mindset, the personal growth piece, the connection with other people, the accountability, the beautiful white sand beaches, the good, I'm going to say fish tacos. I don't like them, but Darcy does. I'll say margaritas. It's all the things that you
The networking in the
don't
hot
know
tub.
you need, but you need them. Or you know you need them, but you're not giving that to yourself.
Yeah. And because it's in January, it's such a great way to kick off your year. Treat yourself after getting you and your family through the holidays.
And the weather's shitty in New England. So,
yes.
or, a lot of the country. So get down to the sun and sand and then put on your winter coat when you get home.
Case in point, that is where we came up with the birth worker retreat. Jodi, you and I and Caitlin from Be Her Village, who is also one of the hosts and founders of the birth worker retreat, like we were on a Zoom and we're like, we should make a conference in somewhere sunny in the winter. So we have a,
I was probably complaining about being freezing.
yeah, I think we were. And then we were like,
Yeah.
actually, yeah, let's do it. So that's why January, sunny Florida, get some vitamin D, write it off to your business, come hang out with us. It's so much fun.
And if you're interested, I'm going to shout out JD here. If cold plunge is your thing, JD always hosts a sunrise cold plunge for all the people. Darcy does yoga. I do coffee. Everyone has a different thing that
Yeah.
bring to the table there.
So I want to open it up and say people can unmute themselves if they have questions about the birth worker retreat or about
I just unmuted to sneeze.
this whole idea of booking your vacations in advance. We would love to hear from you.
Part of being a business owner is setting yourself up for success 100% of the time. Don't let things fall through the cracks. Don't leave yourself vulnerable for anything. And that could even be client confrontation. That could be making promises that you can't keep or whatever it is. Cover all your bases. And I think we learned that. I was saying something, we had an invisible fence for my dog put in this morning. And I was talking to the guy about, I literally just lost my entire train of thought.
Giving them boundaries.
It wasn't that. Come back to me. What was I just talking about? Am I old? What is happening? Do I have Alzheimer's? What is happening? What was I just talking about? I'm losing it. Covering your bases.
Covering your bases, being intentional in your business.
Nope, none of those things. Okay. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me at 9 o'clock tonight, and I'll be like on Instagram being, guys, if you were at the thing, like, this is what I was talking about. Yeah, I have no idea.
Story of my life. JD, do you have anything you want to add? JD is also from Be Her Village. And
of course, I want to boast the birth worker retreat because we always have such a great time, and I am so grateful that we get to be all together and get in the sun. It's so wonderful. But I love the conversation about adding it into your contracts to really to be a way to be more confident to your clients. I think that was my biggest takeaway from this. Realizing that when you're standing confidently with your clients, that they trust you more to do your job better.
And I think if you need help implementing, if you need help actually getting out your contract and putting the verbiage in, I will offer that if you register for the birth worker retreat from being on this call, Darcy and I will, one of us or both of us, will sit with you, get out your contract, and help you get that in there so you don't leave yourself vulnerable.
well, little bonus session.
Little bonus.
Awesome. It looks like nobody has any questions.
So the link is in the chat for the birth worker retreat. And again, if you have questions about either your contract or the birth worker retreat, you can Doula Sue raised her hand, but you can reach out. I'm going to put my Instagram in the chat.
Actually, Lisa, if you already registered for the birth worker retreat, actually, we'll take this into our Facebook group for attendees and we'll write the clause.
Yeah, perfect.
Ooh.
Perfect. So you can reach out to me on Instagram. Darcy put your Instagram in the chat. You can reach out to Darcy also. Either one of us will answer your questions and really just help you figure all of this out. You don't have to do any of this by yourself. That's what we're here for.
Sue, go ahead and unmute. And
yeah, I think I have. Yeah, yep. You guys say birth worker retreat. Aren't you guys postpartum people too?
Birth in the bigger picture, perinatal, pregnancy, birth, postpartum, trying to conceive, weaning, pumping, toddlerhood, first foods. What else?
No, we have sleep consultants coming, lactation, midwives. It's like anybody working with people in the perinatal year.
Do you have
like a birth professional or a birth worker? But even though, PP is my focus.
Do you have a sample timeline or like a schedule of the topics that are covered?
Yep.
That's on the website. I haven't had a chance to click through and read it.
It's not on the website yet, but actually that's one of my to-dos for tonight to get that up.
And then is Be Her Village involved too for this January?
Yeah, JD and Caitlin are involved from day one. So this is our third annual retreat.
Okay, excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, Jodi's speaking, I'm speaking, Caitlin and JD will be speaking about various topics. And we have Emily Wannenberg of Fit for Doula and the Fourth Trimester Fitness Method. Oh, hi, Caitlin. Emily Wannenberg is going to be a speaker, and so is Jillian Anderson, who is an excellent copywriter.
Yep.
And
Also,
for
yeah, I don't know if you mentioned Yiska, but Yiska's does the comforting touch for doulas.
Oh, I love Yishka. Great.
Body work
Yeah.
in there too. And then there's one more keynote besides Jillian. I don't have the paper in front of me, so you can't.
But also the books. That's
oh,
like
yes, the book
We have a
club.
book club.
Oh, so last year we started book club because I have a personal book club and I want a book club for every area of my life. So each of us picked a book and we had 4 separate breakout sessions that were so incredible on all different topics. And I'm really excited. If you want to pitch your books, you guys remember your books. My
Yeah.
book this year is The Circadian Code, which I think is going to be really powerful. It's all about light and its interaction with our health. And it's written by one of the researchers that was in the lab and on the team that identified blue light receptors in the human eye. And he talks all about how it interacts with our body and our health and timed eating and how we can reduce blue light at certain times and increase it. And it was one of the most interesting and well-researched books I've ever read. And it's really important for birth workers to understand specifically because we often work overnight, whether we're birth or postpartum, but we're also working with families, even if we're just doing day shifts, we're working with families who are having disrupted sleep. So if we understand how to manage that, then we can share that and expand our skill sets. So I am really excited. If you can't tell, I'm really excited to talk about my book. That's the pitch on the book. Please join my book club. I also just realized I am voice texting all this to my 12-year-old. So this is
Oh.
I can't find any of my books right now.
Oh, my book club book is called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. It's so good. It's about basically the mindset and that you need to like remove the obstacles that are holding you back.
Mine is Profit First. So we will be talking about how to set up your business so it is always financially healthy and always making profit. So talking about setting up your bank accounts and your different buckets for all the things that your business needs, your personal life needs. And again, we don't want to be left vulnerable. So it sets you up for success in the money way.
And mine is Essentialism, which is not about getting more done in less time. It's about getting the right things done only.
Yeah, so 4 different but all amazing choices for book club.
Yeah.
So are these books you read before you arrive, or you choose one of them and
Nope, you read it before you get there, hopefully.
That's the thing, like last year we had tossed out these books a little bit late and some people read them and some people didn't. And the thing is that the conversation still happens whether or not you read the whole book or if you're just in the, like, really you can pick a book that interests you the most, not read it and go to that book club and still have impactful conversation.
Or get it on Audible. If you're not a big reader and you're like, I don't want to read a book, listen to it.
Yeah, on a flight.
Yep, perfect time.
Awesome. All right. Any other questions?
Earlier, you mentioned that a welcome letter might have a video embedded in it. And was there a particular topic that you were recommending covering in such a video or a welcome letter?
Yep. So one of the things that I always talk about is just managing expectations and never being in a situation where your client's, ooh, I wasn't aware of that, or I didn't know that. The important topics like cancellations, rescheduling, all of those things we talk about in the interview, and they're also obviously in the contract. But if you can do a short video that comes in your welcome letter that just says, hey, I'm Jodi and I'm so excited. I guess you don't have to say I'm Jodi because they already hired you. Super excited to care for you when the baby arrives. A couple of things that I just wanted to make sure that you were solid on, so it's smooth sailing from here on out. If I have to cancel, blah, 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 I will be taking a vacation, blah, blah, blah. 90 seconds to maybe 2 minutes, like super short. They see your face, they hear your voice, but they also, if that's how they retained information, so yes, you talked about it, they heard you, whether it was like on Zoom or on the phone or whatever, they may or may not have read it in your contract, because a lot of people are like, boop, and they sign. They're excited, they're moving forward with you, they get this welcome to Hip to Heart family, blah, 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 email, and then they click the video of you, and they already hired you, so there's like less pressure. They're less nervous about asking the right questions, and they can sit and relax and listen to some of the important things that you have to say. So it can really be anything, but mine are almost like FAQs, like the things that people are most asking about, or the things that have been like the bigger issues in the past. I want to make sure I'm covering myself. And I like to do video. I would rather do video than type a whole long letter of things. I have a podcast and I like to talk. So that's where I shine.
But thank you for reminding us that.
Yes, I meant to talk about that.
That's such a good idea, too.
It just takes the heat off. Like, you don't have to remember if you forgot to say it in the interview or whatever, and there's a chance they didn't read your contract. A little quick video. Nobody doesn't click the video, ever. Everybody clicks the video. Always. And you just make a little cover on it that says 3 important things you should know before we work together, or something catchy with a picture of yourself. You don't have it be like the video cover where you're like, like you want it to be like, so they know exactly what they're,
yeah.
But so they know what they're watching. Expectations, guys. Setting expectations are everything.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We hope that you will join us in Florida in January. It's so much fun to just hang out and be in a room with a bunch of doulas. It's so good.
And your toes in the sand in your off time.
Yeah. And your feet in the pool and all the things. So
hot tub party.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and
bye.
Let us know if you have questions. Bye.